Dumelang. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sound on Siren podcast. Yeah, another episode. I am your host Imbali, and I'm here with
Itu.
Perfect. And yeah, we have another amazing episode for you folks. Before we get started, make sure that you are following us on social media, on Sound on Siren podcast, on Instagram and on TikTok. And then subscribe to the YouTube channel that you are watching us on. Leave a review, leave a comment, engage. And yeah, tell your friends about it. Honestly, would even just saying, Gitu said that I have one of her ex coworkers hit her up about the pod and said it was great. So, Wena, Wena, eh? Why are you keeping your friends out of the loop? Anyway,
Just a reminder that on Sound and Siren podcast, this is where we fortify ourselves from the inside out. Yeah.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you, or how much are you looking forward to the new week?
I'll say probably like an 8.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's your birthday.
Is it all because of me? I just knew I'm the drama, honey. Is it a plane? Is it a bird? Nah, it's me.
Yeah. So I think celebrations will be fun and cute. I'm excited to do some baking as well. I
Yeah.
need to just get on my Zoom with that.
Yeah. Even if you take a day off work, I don't mind.
I can't take a day off work, but that's funny. Yeah, so that's exciting. Also, honestly, just every week presents a new thing.
Yeah.
And this week on paper should be less busy for me at work. So
Nice.
that feels good.
You're not working extra days.
I'm not working extra days, and I don't have as many like sessions that I have to go be out in the world and facilitate.
Okay, cool.
I think I just have one.
Yeah.
Last week I had 4 or 5, something like
Damn.
that. Generally, also my threshold is like 2. So if I'm doing more than 2, I'm in exhaustion mode. So yeah,
Cool.
hopefully it's a good week. I mean, it's gonna be raining, which is why maybe the score is not higher because it's gonna be wet all week.
Yeah.
And just like gray skies, and also cold, which is not great. Like I feel like we're not quite in spring where the wet is also warm.
Yeah, it's that
It's
second
like
winter, that
the wet
fall,
has
spring.
brought a temperature dip as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So it's also just, I feel like I was ready to be going down layers. And now I feel like I've had a week of reducing my layers only to come back up to where I was a little while ago. So that's a bit sad.
An
But
8 is good though.
Hmm?
I said an 8 is good.
Mate, it's good.
8
Yeah,
is
stay
quite high.
positive. Stay
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
No, but yay.
It's my birthday. Numbers wise, I'm gonna play it safe and say like an 8.59.
Okay.
In the middle.
I love that's you playing it safe. You don't want to say 10, but
Yes.
you're like 1.5 away.
I'm playing it safe, you know me. But yeah, no, looking forward to my birthday. Looking forward to waking up in the age of 33. I don't typically feel my age. Like I don't feel the difference between feeling 23 and 32, for example.
Sure.
Like I don't feel my age in my body, but in that week around my birthday, there is a certain feeling that changes. There's like a transition of sort, a transformation that feels different for me. And this previous week has felt very tight, almost like something is getting squeezed out.
Okay.
So obviously it's my new personal new year, so that's what's probably getting squeezed out. But I know 33 is supposed to be your Jesus year. And I asked my sister for advice. I was like, oh, you've been 33 before. Like, what can I look for? She's like,
Which sister?
Bassi.
Okay.
She's like, it's going to be a tough year. I said, what? She said, yeah, you're going to learn. You think you've grown? You haven't grown.
Right.
You're going to grow this year. You're going to learn. It's going to be the most challenging year. I said, huh?
excuse.
I said, what? That's not what I was thinking. She said, no, but like it's all good or whatever. After 33, blah, blah, blah. And I just zoned out. I stopped listening to it. She spoke for quite a while. And I just stopped listening to it because I was like,
that's not what I wanted to hear.
I totally rebuke that. So that's not what my 33 is. Now I'm kidding. I know obviously all of the learnings and all this stuff is all beautiful in its own way. But yeah, just excited to see what 33 brings and what the number element of it brings as well. The repeated numbers brings, you know, me and my numerology vibes.
That's true. What is it? It's also 6. What is the year 6? What is 6?
So this year is the year of 9, and 3 plus 3 is 6.
Yeah.
But also 3 times 3 is 9.
Mm.
So a very huge significance of 3s.
Okay.
This year for me. I'm not quite sure, like planetarily or like with my aspects yet, what that really means. You know me, I do my thing close to my birthday, so I'll do my like full spread and whatever for the year and like look at my chart and stuff like that. But I've been learning some more occult stuff, and I just love using the word occult now because it just scares people, but it literally just means hidden. That's the meaning of the word occult, is hidden. Doesn't have anything to do with dark, doesn't have anything to do with, you know, a type of dark magic or whatever. No, the word occult does not mean that. But anyway, I like that it scares people. I'm like, yeah, I'm edgy. Oh.
That's funny.
Meanwhile, I'm just investigating the things that are not in your face like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling a lot, so we'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, I think at 8.5, it's a good one.
We're going to go to the next segment, which is Siren Sounds. We're going to break out into song in random different ways. Today's game is a word association. I don't enjoy singing for people, so
I'm
going to be very
sorry.
casual singing.
It's fine.
I'm
It
not
doesn't have to
singing for
be
serious
no,
vibes.
it doesn't have to be crazy because it's not like a crazy thing. This is just a word association.
Right.
But our word association will be slightly different because I'm not just using English words.
Okay.
Yeah. So even the singing can be way more casual as well. Okay. So the first word is child.
Ooh. Ooh. And just break out into song with the word child.
Yeah. Think of the previous episode.
The one we just did?
Yeah. And we're talking about your mom listening to, then there's an artist, and there's a song that I sang.
I am a child born of love.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. So that's Lyra. What is it? Soul in Mind, right?
Soul in Mind.
Yeah. See? Cool. Okay.
Yes.
1. The next one is hair.
Don't touch my hair, 'cause it's the feelings I wear.
Come on, don't touch my crown.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So proud of you.
Awesome. That's Solange.
Solange.
What is the name of it? Is it hair?
No, it's Don't Touch My Hair, I think.
Okay. News.
News.
Mhm.
Ooh. News.
Yeah. No, it's quite out there. The news.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
Did you hear the news on the radio today? People have agreed to give their love away. I can't wait to be there in line. No. That's a jam. Okay. That's Freshly Ground. Doobie doo. Doobie doobie. Beautiful. Okay. Scoop.
Tati school.
Hola, Tati school. Tatanga usfage zozwe. Zaga gong gong gong. Zaga zaga gong gong gong. Zaga gong gong gong. Zaga gong gong gong. Oh, hula hoop. Oh, hula hoop. It's good. Usfage zozwe. Ezo zweno para mas maxuzubuswa.
Yeah, exactly.
Uzubuswa. Ubum. Singing with the model C accent.
No, period. I
Mm.
mean, it is up. Love it.
Tsohle.
I'm not gonna get started. Yena usilo na yore sotle
Sohle di enseki wena modimo.
If you wanted to spill it, you could have just asked.
No, I put that one in there because I was like, because gospel wise, so Tsotle is like a gospel hymn. And gospel wise, you listen to more Tswana gospel, but I listen to more Zulu gospel. So I wrote this knowing that this is my one Tsotle song that I know. But I was curious if you knew another hymnal, Tsotle, or another song, like another Sutu Tswana song that has Tsotle in it.
Probably, but not at the top of my head.
Mm.
But yeah, you listen to a lot of Zulu gospel.
I listen to a lot of Zulu
I
gospel,
listen
yeah.
to like basically no Zulu gospel.
Yeah.
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 I'm Zulu, so
I'm Zulu, and they don't have any Zulu adjacent to
I
you.
speak Zulu at home as well. Yeah,
Yes.
like I'm not that, so
Okay. Should we do two more, or are you finished with this?
let's keep going.
Okay. You like it, yeah?
I like word association.
All right. Umjolo.
I am Funumjelo. I do I just need a friend with benefits.
Come on.
Jolo zogli
I'm Jolo Zokataza. Jolo Zogli. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I knew you'd sing that song.
Yeah.
Okay, this one was hard. I don't think I have a a word association song for this one. Forgive or forgiveness. Oh, I actually think I do now.
I mean, I have a song for sorry, but not for forgive.
Mm.
Forgive them, Father, for they know not what
They do. Come on.
Forgive them.
Did you see that Lauryn Hill performed and brought Doechii on the stage? I think last night or the night before that, Lauryn Hill had a show, and Lauryn Hill brought Doechii on stage to come and sing like the second verse. And she came in. The second verse is dedicated to the man more concerned with him. Yeah, really, Doechii is living her life. She is living her life. Now her one security guard in Paris carrying her on the shoulder, walking through a crowd of people. It's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
So that girl
She's
right
so
now, and
cute.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Not every day also we get to see a dark skinned woman kind of be an it girl.
No, yeah.
And I think I particularly love it because of that as well.
Mm.
You know?
No,
That
I
lots
love
of
it.
Black women have their moment in the sun like that, but they've often been not dark. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll challenge you with the Zulu one, because even though you don't listen to really Zulu music, but let's see Ilanga.
How can I get that song? Ilanga liya
Is it a gospel one?
No, kili piano.
Oh, hey, Ilanga.
Man, I think I was just listening to
yes, I know the song you're talking about though. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's even called Ilanga.
Ilanga liyashona namhlanje.
No.
There's a melody that I'm not getting, but that's the word. Ilanga liyashona namhlanje. I love that. I love that. But yeah, so there's that. And then, do I have any more? We'll do one more, one last one here. Okay. Might as well do all the words I have on here. Sin.
Sin?
There's what are those two girls called? The ones where they were doing the videos and they were running for the longest time.
Hello, Christ. I'm back to
Sin again, yeah. I said I love you to the member. I'm not feeling him. I'm made of sisters, biscuit, nickel, and cinnamon. Me and my bestie are the same, like a synonym. I can microphone some the band deals that I'm swimming. You can call me many. I got many men. Vested in the shit, cause the shit is paying dividends. Slap a bitch back, slap what? Cause I'm feminine. Anyway. So that was the game. Congratulations! And the crowd goes wild. All right, so the next segment is called Chatterbox. This is where we discuss something that I want to discuss really thus far. But I was thinking this week, I was like, wow. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing a lot. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing nothing at all. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing too little. And I'm just curious, like, do you ever feel like you're doing too little in life? Like, I know that I'm only gonna be 33 years old in the next little while, and I'm young, you know? There's a lot of life ahead of me, you know? At least I'd like to think that way. That there's a lot of life ahead of me. And there's a lot that I can do and I can accomplish. And we've seen time and time again that these time barriers, these time posts that we put on things, these benchmarks, of success or whatever, they have been thwarted by people who are succeeding at various different ages, doing various different things, getting into it in various different ways. So, like, although there is the knowledge of like life is possible beyond this point, and like a good, fruitful, successful life is possible beyond this point where I don't have to be successful at all my projects right now in these next 2 years. I know I have knowledge of that, but I don't know it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know it to apply it to my life, to give myself the compassion and the space that I need to be like, yeah, fuck, man, you're just tired. Like, I'm just tired. I think I'm just tired of even my own shit. Like, I'm just tired.
Nah, yeah. I mean, there's so much you could say here. I definitely think we're also in an age where social media has done this funny thing where we can really keep up with our peers a lot. And I think it's really added to this feeling of the ideas we hold around things we should have done by particular ages, because I think there's a lot of like seeing your peers do things. I mean, I've seen a couple of my friends and people I went to school with have babies recently. I'm nowhere near my baby years. Like, nowhere. I would be a child mother, teenage pregnancy. Like, that's not okay. That's not okay. Like, what do you mean I would know that I'm not prepared for that? But obviously, like, if I got pregnant tomorrow, no one would think it's like a crazy age to be pregnant, you know? I'm 26. So, like, people would be like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Which to me is a bit mad. But I think there's certain things like that where you can recognize if you're not in those years, that's completely fine. And babies are like a strange example. But there are other things where it's harder to do that. I think it's particularly hard with professional goals and where we want to be professionally when we get to particular ages and we feel set for ourselves. I would say the same thing for me with like school. I really thought by now I'd have a second degree and stuff like that. But I was so not ready for the extenuating circumstances that occurred when I was in school that have left me kind of reeling from that experience for a while and kind of having to take a few years before I felt or even feel like I can remotely kind of now think about school again or the prospect of school. Which is like very interesting. Younger me wouldn't have thought that I wouldn't have gone to school straight away, basically.
Yeah.
But also younger me wouldn't have expected any of the things that happened. So
To happen,
it's
yeah.
been lots of, you know, looking at the fuller context instead of criticizing myself for goals that were set by a 17-year-old me and hanging on to those. Same thing for like goals that were set by a 21-year-old me and hanging on to those years later. I think it's that thing where I need to just meet myself where I'm at all the time. Like we say that for other people, like meet folks where they're at. We really struggle to meet ourselves where we're at. I'm very critical of ourselves where we're at. And there's many things in my life that are positive and I can speak about in a positive way. And there's lots of things that I could criticize or whatever, but I don't want to be in a very like deficit based or scarcity mentality. I really want to not be in that space. So I can definitely feel what you're saying when you say you feel like you're not doing enough or you're doing too little. But with that said, also, I am like too tired, too depressed, too whatever to actually then do more. So it doesn't matter of like why then fixate on the feeling of like I'm doing too little. And honestly it ebbs and flows. I feel like there's just times where if you feel like work feels very stagnant, that for me can be really stifling. Like I relate feeling like things are extremely repetitive and I feel like I'm not growing. in what I'm doing at work.
Yeah.
That's generally when that feeling starts to emerge. The when it happened to me most recently, actually, the circumstances allowed me to kind of give it a few months to pass, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
But also allow myself to prioritize other things, do certain things, and also we're not in a good job economy. I'm not gonna just like start looking for jobs and leave my job. It's not a
Yeah.
good time right now to be in that space. But like stagnant energy, I think can be a place where I feel that I get to do something about it. So I'd rather focus on like, yeah, what feels stagnant in my life that feels stuck instead of these other things that are nowhere near my periphery. Like, why should
Yeah.
I long for a partner if I'm not in the space or in the periphery of dating or anything like that? So I'm not gonna beat myself up on things that I'm not doing any work to towards changing or feel like I
Yeah.
don't have capacity to change right now. But I am going to be more critical of the things I feel I can change in certain ways if I feel like I'm not doing enough in aspects of my life that feel controllable. That's what I'll do,
Yeah.
you know? And there's other aspects also for me. The big thing this year has been like, am I doing too little as a friend? And like, how do you show up for other people?
Mm.
Because I love being by myself, love cocooning, and also you just have to find a balance with being social. But I think also with my friends or like a good chunk of my close friends moving as well, there's now you have to be more intentional in
Yeah.
maintaining relationships when you don't have proximity as well. So I think there's also that thing for me that's emerged in that sense and feeling like, okay, there's some things I can control here. It's just a matter of me challenging myself, not challenging myself, but just me doing things at the sacrifice of this alone time that I've come to value so much, which
Yeah.
it's never that deep.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously in the winter things are harder, but it's feeling much better planning stuff and doing things with friends as the days get longer and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. The stays brighter for longer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I I hear you. I also do think like these feelings can emerge or feel especially potent around your birthday.
Yes.
So don't let the birthday eyes or the birthday haze kind of get you carried away.
Fair.
Because also you have a tendency to go like full steam with something which isn't sustainable, where you know you're like
Absolutely.
foot to the pedal,
Yeah.
and that's not always going to be a great practice if you're trying to find a way to do something long term sustainably. Sometimes it really is a thing of like start small and build,
Yeah.
which
It's a struggle for me
sometimes you
to
really
start
struggle
small
with.
and
The start
build.
small and build is
I
really like
I
difficult to
really
do.
yeah, I really struggle with it.
Um, but
I
like
really I think also that shows in my relationships with people, and this is platonic, all
yeah,
the relationships with people is like the we can do I can do small build up after it's established. I can't do small build up as the path to establishing the thing. I need it all or nothing. I need it all or nothing. If you're in all or nothing. If I'm in all or nothing. If I'm starting this thing, I'm starting it all or nothing. And then I establish the ground and then I can do whatever that I want
but
to
that's
do.
extreme.
It is extreme, but I'm just an
No,
extreme
it's who
person.
you are, and like I
Yeah.
get it, but also I don't in the sense, you know what I mean? Like in the sense of like, to me, that's just not how things work.
Yeah.
Isn't you might every now and then find things, practices, relationships, whatever, where it really does feel like that at the onset, where it's kind of like, okay, everybody's all in. But personally, if I think about having or making friendships, particularly as an adult, it really is a game of like consistency
Yeah.
over like a burst of all in and then like an ease off. And I
Yeah.
think for me, I'm like a do which feels really nice because it's about cultivation for me. And I think of it kind of like a garden where I'm not gonna plant a seed and then tomorrow
It to
I
grow,
want it to
yeah.
be a plant. Like I just don't I wouldn't necessarily go that way. I think there's a lot of there's a lot of anxiety and doubt and stress in the part when things are growing slowly. I can
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge that. But I think there's also a sense of security at the end when something has actually gone through a process of like a slow and steady growth,
Mm.
you know? Whereas I feel like certain things, if you go full steam at first, it's prone to combustion way faster. Like those kinds of relationships, I feel like are prone to falling apart because I think it's just everybody gets wrapped up in the energy.
Yeah.
And obviously that's not always going to be the case, definitely not. But I feel for me, the slow and steady really works because I feel a sense of stability at the end of it with the consistency.
Fair.
And that to me is important.
Fair.
So it's the same thing also it's the same mentality I would apply to my professional life, to
Mm-hmm.
school, all these things is I may want to be at the other end where I kind of am the big dog or whatever that looks like. But there's lots of I can see that there's many steps to get there, and I would rather take that path, have those steps, be in that space of like, this is ridiculous. I don't know if this is worth it. Would you?
Yeah.
But I feel like that has always paid off for me with the stability that you get at the end, and I really like a feeling of like this is earned. You know, like this relationship, this is work that's been put into this and time. And same thing with like professional development, feeling like, you know what, I might have the imposter syndrome, but like deep down, I can look at all the work that I've done. I can look at projects. I can look at the slowness. I can look at the things and really feel stable in my sense of things.
Fair.
So that's what I would say. But I also think disposition, if you have a temperament like yours also, where your energy can come and you can have these bursts of energy that can go for like weeks, months on end, you can get so much done.
Yeah.
When you're like all in on a project, you know?
That's what it feels
But
like.
that's the thing. Like if you have the temperament where you can, when you go all in, get a bunch of stuff done, that's great. Some of us we don't have like my temp. I would punch away too quickly.
Yeah.
You know, like I that's not how I experience bursts of energy. It's not even really how I experience hyperfixation when I hyperfixate. Either. So I think some of it also comes down to temperament and like things that you're able to achieve, accomplish, whether it's building a relationship, things like that.
Yeah.
Or work projects when you have that all in energy that propels you forward.
I think for me, it's less of a there's less of a likelihood for it to burn out if the other thing that I am participating with or in, because it's not always a person, um, uh, reciprocates the all in. Like if it's if it's easy, if I'm all in and the other thing is also all in, not saying that the thing that so for example, let's say learning how to play an instrument.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm all in learning how to play an instrument, I get a teacher, I'm always on YouTube school, because me and YouTube school were like this. And I'm paying for it, I'm investing all this time and all that kind of stuff. As long as the instrument is learnable, and that progress on that side of it, like the energy it gives back, is also all in, is also gradual, is also what is the word for this, is also generative, then I feel like there's less burnout, because even the moments when I do take that break, whether the break is short or it's a prolonged break, I don't feel as like I don't have a guilt, as much of a guilt to say, oh, you know, now I'm not, playing the keyboard anymore, or whatever, because I know that that skill is still there. I know that I know that when I learned the skill, when I gave myself to the thing, I gave my all. And sometimes that does help me to deal with my feelings of guilt around not being so full of energy when my opposite is to be full of energy. Like I'm definitely both of them. And as I get older, I'm more open to the idea of me, or the side of me that is not a burst of energy and a ball of energy all the time, and is actually the complete opposite. I would literally rather be like dug in a hole and like buried just for a little while, just like leave alone. Like there's so many times when I just want to plug out of life. I just want to boop.
Okay, we're gonna just a
And
sprinkling of
then come
passive
back.
suicidal ideation, but okay.
I mean,
We lots of us
fair.
experience it in some shape or form.
But I
I'm
really
just naming
do.
it to say like when we say things like I want to unplug from life or sleep for a couple of months and all these things, these are passive ideations. So it's not the same as being suicidal per se,
Mm-hmm.
but these are passive ideations and they can be indicators of other things like burnout, stress, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop.
Yeah.
Like in theory, we're supposed to, or you can enjoy being alone and that feeling of having little energy and stuff, but it shouldn't necessarily be a thing of also that being attached to not wanting to be present.
Fair, fair.
So when you're in that realm, I would caution you to think like if that feeling of no energy is always attached to this thing of like I want to be buried in the ground, to consider why that is and find a way to have these periods of lower energy, but the feeling isn't burrowing into the ground, but more like in a warm blanket. Not necessarily, I don't want to say it's not supposed to be that,
Yeah.
but it's kind of not.
Yeah.
supposed to
No,
be
I hear
that,
you. I
you
hear
know?
you. I hear you.
And that's another extreme.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be
No,
extreme.
no. My whole life feels extreme in one way or the other, and it's been a exploration of finding said middle ground. And sometimes I thought I had a middle ground until that Capricorn left me. There's no middle ground. Anyway.
And I wouldn't even say middle ground because I don't think all of us have the a way of also feeling like there's a balance or a middle to things. But I would say even at the extremities, both good and bad, we can engage in unsustainable, toxic, harmful practices
Yeah.
that we can unlearn. Like there's a way to feel excitement and joy with a project without feeling guilt if you need to take a break from a project and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
there's a way to take a break from a project and relish in that break and have lots of goodness about the break as well. Without necessarily feeling like a break is just like a lack of,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, then that is the segment. That is the segment. Thank you very much. We're gonna move to the next segment. Yes. The next segment is called Upele Pele. And this is where I share a thread or something fascinating that I found online. I don't really give a shit about NFL players.
Okay.
I don't really care about celebrities' dating lives. I don't care about anything really.
Okay.
However, this does have to do with an NFL player, but it's not about the NFL player in particular. But I think the fact that it was regarding an NFL player gave it this like status.
Okay.
This like so basically this person and yeah, she posts was I wrong for canceling my plans with this NFL player?
Okay.
And then we have the chat. So I'm gonna read the chat to you.
Okay.
So I guess she asked him initially, yeah, because she kind of starts it. Yeah. Whoa, okay, I didn't see that part. Sorry. She kind of starts it in the middle of their whatever, but you can tell by his response that her question was about what are his intentions.
Okay.
So he says, she says, no intentions. I would be lying if I just told you something you wanted to hear. I just want to vibe out and enjoy each other. If we both like what we see, then we can definitely find a way to see each other more.
This is the NFL player?
This is the NFL player, yeah. I live in Charlotte, so that drive to wherever she is wouldn't be anything, but he could also take a flight.
Okay.
And she says, I'm glad you told me the truth. That won't work for me, though. I'm happy in my singleness, so I'm only going to give energy to someone who's in the same mindset as me, which is dating with intention. I hope you find what you're looking for, though. It was nice talking to you.
Right.
He responds, okay. Then he responds again, just advice for the future. The next
Unsolicited?
just advice for the future. The next dude you run across, just let it happen naturally. You'll never find what you're looking for by trying to set a standard. Having expectations leads to disappointment. She says, I appreciate the advice and I believe that as well. However, in today's current day of age, okay, when a guy states off rip that he has no intentions, his intention is to string you along and play with you, your time and your energy. That's what she says.
Right.
He says, so would you rather me tell you what you want to hear? Do you want me to sell you a dream? Then lead you on just to be disappointed? She says, no, not at all. I want you to be real. And you were. And I was able to make an informed decision from that. He says, for sure, or for sure, I respect it. We don't have to talk on that level, but I still want to see what's going on tonight. So when you find out, can you let me know? Are you open to still hanging out? I don't like drama. I just like enjoying my life. Because men, we won't dissect it yet. Sorry, it's almost done.
Saying everything except I want to fuck you.
And except for I just want to fuck you.
That's
Like,
it.
just give me the kununi
That's it.
and
I
let's
just
call
wanna
it
have
what it
sex.
is. Yeah. So then she says, word of advice for your next victim.
Gags. Gags him.
For your next victim, if you would have said you're looking to get to know someone and open to see where it goes from there, they probably would be open to seeing you. You also have to think logistically and realistically. You're a football player staying in the same city for one night and you want to see someone with no intention, just vibes. Unless the girl is just desperate, pressure to get next to an NFL player, has no boundaries, or is bored, she's not going for it. I actually had other plans before connecting with you, so I'm going to stick with those plans. I hope you enjoy your time here. I'll be praying for your safe return. Then he says, for sure, next victim is crazy, lol, but for sure.
No, the dead ass. Like, dead ass.
Okay, so let's dissect.
Okay.
So, what do you think of this conversation?
Yeah.
Is she, what did she say?
Is she an
Is she
asshole?
wrong?
Is she wrong?
Yeah, is she wrong for canceling her plans with the NFL player?
No, I wouldn't say she's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wouldn't say she's wrong. I do think that she does also make some brazen statements, though, that I think are, she might think okay, but I would actually say it benefit the patriarchy a lot. Especially when she's talking about the quote unquote next victim.
Yeah.
Desperate to be next
Yeah.
to a player,
Bored.
or has no boundaries.
Yeah, that's
I
wild.
think that's a lot of, it's in the realm, not necessarily explicitly, so maybe it isn't necessarily slut shaming, but it's adjacent. And it's also this idea of she has a moral superiority that I don't enjoy.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say in the declining of the thing she's wrong. Like, if you know that when you're dating people, you want somebody who, I think her response would have been like, she wants somebody who would say, I want to see you and also give this a shot, whatever that looks like. And hopefully, from this, hopefully there can be something fruitful.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Or even some people are like, well, I'm dating to get married. So, I'm not saying we're going to get married, but I'm looking for something serious. Whoopty whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Cool. Then she might have enjoyed that and been like, all right. But obviously, this person is kind of not looking for that. I think he also should have just been more explicit.
Yes.
To be fair, though, if he did feel that he isn't just looking for sex, he can say that.
Yeah.
It's also another thing where if you aren't necessarily quite dating or seeing people to be serious, but you're also not closed off to it, which is to say, you might engage, but you probably won't, but still. You could say, we can meet someone else. This is not, I'm not looking for sex or anything like that. Maybe that helps. But I definitely think she's not wrong for canceling, but the tone that she takes on later on isn't great. And that moral superiority is not great. And also, whilst I can agree that for the most part, yes, men are stringing people along knowing that they don't necessarily want anything out of a situationship or a relationship, and some people find themselves in these dynamics for years on end, hoping for somebody to ask them to be their partner, or ask them to get married, or whatever the case may be. If that's your goals, if you want to get married and you never talk to your partner about and you kind of are like waiting for that to magically happen, that's really on you. Because I think a lot of people, if you know you want to get married, you need to tell the people that you're dating.
Yeah, you need to talk about
your
it.
boyfriend that you want to get married.
Yeah.
And that also, when that doesn't happen for you, you can say like, this is important to me. Like, so that if you're on different page around those values, or if he has different expectations or markers that he has for himself or for the relationship, for them to be able to feel like they can get married,
Yeah.
talk about those things, because everybody has different measures. There's some people out there who are like, I'll never move in with someone until I'm engaged. I won't have children outside of marriage. I won't. If those are your values and they're important to
You
you,
gotta talk about
talk
them.
about it to the people that
Yeah.
you're dating. Like, that's okay. I think that's also okay. Instead of this like quietness that goes around dating, with this
Yeah.
idea that somebody will also change their mind. Heavy on the people won't change their mind.
And
They
you
won't
can't
change their mind about
change
kids. They
people.
won't change their mind
Yeah.
about marriage. They won't change about. They won't change their mind.
And they won't change. And even if they do change their minds, they're not going to change their minds because you
Yep.
made them change their minds for the most part. What's really interesting for this thing for me is like, first of all, where did they meet? If they've met before, how do they have each other's contacts?
They may have met like out. Like, if he's a football player, they may have met at the club, something like that. Or it could also be that they met on Instagram,
Maybe like a DM
like
thing.
a DM thing, or like you saw a profile, like a picture, you sent a DM, whatever the case, and then it migrated over to text, whatever that looks like. I
Interesting.
think there's many circumstances under which people can meet, even
Yeah.
people who are dating football players who do, or some of these public figures.
Yeah.
There's lots of context which is why even the idea of like places to go to meet certain people exists. Like,
Yeah.
you want to meet these older men, go to these bars. You want to meet football players, go to these clubs after
Go to
a
these
game. Go to
bars,
these
be
bars.
white.
Go to this what do they call them? Those little, like,
Mixers.
no, like the clubs, like, but clubs in the sense of like, go to Soho House if you know you want to like meet somebody like that, or go to Barry's if you want to meet people who are like influencers where they work out. Like, there's certain spaces that are also, you need a membership to be part of Soho
Yeah.
House, and so you're gonna go there, and your chances of bumping into
These
a public
clubs,
figure
yeah.
is exponentially higher, because they're kind of marketed towards that particular type of person.
Fair.
There's a couple of restaurants that are known to be celebrity hotspots, so you want to go to Chow's or whatever that place is called, and then Mr. Chow's, or there's in California, there's Nobu. There's so many things where celebrities are. Doesn't mean they'll talk to you, but
No, same thing on like the Raya app, which is that celebrity dating app that I was on. Just because you're on there doesn't mean you get nothing. Get nothing, nothing, nothing. And there's obviously a particular type of person that app is for.
yeah.
And there's a particular type of person that thrives on that app. And I'm not that demographic in any way. I think the only thing that makes me that demographic where like if I'm checking the boxes is like I'm human. Um I'm human. I have a phone to check into this app, and maybe I'm a creative. That's about it. Yeah, anyway, I didn't find any success on that app. Not that I thought I would. I was more curious about who is on there. And it's also international. So like it's people that are everywhere. So on the Raya app, you can't bring it down based on proximity or location. It's literally everyone everywhere. So like people in France,
'Cause in
people in
theory, people
wherever.
are, in theory, wealthy enough to fly out to see each other.
Yes,
That
yes.
proximity isn't always a factor.
And
Like,
people
if they
travel
want you bad enough,
often.
they will come to you, or they will
Yeah.
make you go, or they'll pay for you to get to them.
Yeah.
Or they travel often enough that they will eventually be around or close enough to where you can kind of meet somewhere as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the city for whatever. So you can put like your main location, then you can put the location that you're like transitioning through. And you can put like it's whatever. Anyway.
I think there's a lot of TikTok out there
Um
right now, but people are getting a little bit brazen, I would say, for the audiences that they have. Not all of you have Ronaldo. Some people have motherfucking Jameson Rich. Okay? Okay?
okay.
Even if you're also playing soccer, you are not Ronaldo. Also, I don't like using Ronaldo as an example because he's a racist, but
Okay.
Is that demonetized? Maybe take the word out. I don't.
Does that I don't know if it demonetizes, but I don't think we're anywhere near monetization. But maybe we'll get there if you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel and you also follow us on social media. But that has been another juicy, entertaining, riddled with checking yourself before you wreck yourself like me, because Kitty told me. But yeah, we've been Sound on Siren podcast. Remember to follow us on our social medias on Instagram and on TikTok, Sound on Siren podcast. We're available on Spotify for listening and Apple for listening. If you're there, follow the pod, comment on the pod. And yeah, if you're on YouTube, say something nice. I don't know. But enjoy your upcoming week or weeks. And yeah, stay safe, folks. Stay safe. Safety is capital number one. Stay safe.
Episodes will drop every Friday
Thank
at
you.
10 a.m. PST, or what is that, 6 p.m.
8
South African
p.m.
time? 8 p.m. South African time?
Yeah. Oh, wait, does that change now that we've changed?
Did it happen last night?
Yeah. So then that would be 7 p.m.
Sure. Yeah, because we would have gone down for 10 hours.
Yeah. So episodes will come out at 7 p.m. South African time
And 10 a.m.
and 10 a.m. PST time. Everyone else, figure it out. But yeah, it's been a slice.